apologies. I had to clean up something really quickly. I'm here, you. Thanks, Hideo Kojima, but I've already seen enough. Be gone, Kojima. Oh, hand lotion. You take a second to fucking sink in, don't you? Oh, right. We're naked.
Encounter the enemy.
Eliminate the target.
My butt.
There!
Return to your positions. Tighten security. Understood.
Well, we're off to a great start.
All personnel, return to your stations.
Is there somebody there? Encounter the enemy. Request for backup.
He swept the leg! New York, 52nd Street. Hang on, wait a second.
Stop. Stop.
Maybe I just... Hang on. New York, 52nd Street. Hang on a second. Something about that don't seem quite right. Will it keep on changing if I go back and forth between the rooms? I'm kind of curious. Boy, that was a loud chugging noise from my PS2. I still miss it. I still miss the police knots. Do, 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 do. Before I forgo, I'm going to put my phone back on the charger. Arsenal Guild Jejunum. Arsenal Gear Stomach. Aoyama no Nichome. Azabu Juban. Wait, that's Aoyama, I think. Aoyama Prefecture. Fubashi City, hang on! Colonel!
Raiden, turn the game console off right now.
Huh?
What did you say?
The mission is a failure. Cut the power right now.
What's wrong with you?
Don't worry, it's a game. It's a game just like usual.
You'll ruin your eyes playing so close to the TV.
What are you talking about?
Raiden, something happened to me last Thursday when I was driving home.
Uh-huh, yeah,
I had
Colonel,
a
what's
couple miles
happening?
to go. I looked up and saw a glowing orange object in the sky, to the east.
To the east?
It was moving very irregularly. Suddenly, there was intense light all around me. And when I came to, I was home. What do you think happened to me?
Huh? Fine. Forget it.
Okay.
Even my patience has its limits. I just can't leave this thing up to you any longer. I'll do the fighting. You can just go home.
The Colonel's ready to throw fucking hands. Like, did have a point. The mission is a failure. It's time to turn off the console and try again. If you get caught here, like on the second level, it's basically fucking all it's Jover. The colonel really just said, I can't leave it up to this young stud of a fucking infiltration wannabe ninja. Eventually, he'll be good in revengeance, ass motherfucker. I'm gonna do it instead. Part of me wonder what happens. Sorry, part of me is wondering what happens if you try to use knock while in this mode.
Huh?
Huh?
What was that just now?
Huh? Where the fuck did that guy come from? What the fuck was that? I know I knocked earlier. Did that get the attention of the guy above me? Holy shit. Okay, well. What does Jejuna mean? I almost fucked up his patterning real bad just now.
Who's there?
Oh, Colonel, now is not the time.
Raiden, turn the game console off right now.
About to be a
What did you
failure
say?
if you don't fucking
The
get out of
mission
my
is a
way, old
failure.
man.
Cut the Infiltrate the enemy fortress, Outer Heaven. Destroy the final weapon, Metal Gear.
Is that a reference to Metal Gear 1?
Spotted the intruder. Send back up his smoke.
He's over there! Eliminate the target.
Thanks. Box 5. Damn, and here I really was hoping that we were gonna go to fucking 52nd Street.
Honestly, though, you have played the game for a long
My
time.
brother in Christ,
Don't you
we're
have
about
anything
20
else to do
minutes
with
into
your time?
stream. Don't I have anything better to do with my time? I mean, this game makes me feel like it.
Stop.
Actually, there is something I have been meaning to tell you, but I just couldn't. I think you should know about it.
Colonel?
On Saturday morning last week, I saw a guy leaving Rosemary's room. How should I put it? It was like they were intimate. I'm sorry. Sorry to bring this up during the mission, but
What the fuck?
Return to your positions. Tighten security.
I can't believe that shit worked. Holy crap.
All units exercise extreme caution.
I'm just gonna sit here with the box on until that meter runs out real quick. Colonel!
President Baker should be somewhere to the south of where you blasted through the wall. Hurry and save him before the terrorists discover his code.
The president's dead. Why did the face angle change?
All personnel, return to your stations.
An anemone or clematis plant's juice can cause a rash. When pruning them, it's a good idea to wear gloves.
Well, we're back in Aoyama Prefecture. Colonel!
Even my patience has its limits. I just can't.
I like how Raiden stopped responding to him. This is a perfectly innocent box. You can ignore it.
I was a North American fall webworm in my past life. Those were the good old days. What were you in your former life?
I was a North American Out of my way, nerd. Yes, Colonel.
Actually, I'm in really bad shape financially.
Yeah,
I
same
paid money to
though.
my ex-wife as part of our divorce settlement, among other bills. I just had no choice but to make you pay for lunch the other day. I'm really sorry.
It's okay, Colonel. You can get me next time.
Variety level 13. Rescue Meryl, the return of Ginola.
Okay.
I hear it's amazing when the famous purple stuffed worm in Flapjaw Space with the tuning fork does a raw blink on Harry Carey Rock. I need scissors. 61.
Need scissors. 61 of. Huh? Somebody care to tell me what the fuck is going on with my goddamn radar in the corner? There's a lot happening right now.
Your mission is to
Fortress Galuade? Rescue the hostages, neutralize Metal Gear reports assemblies complete.
You got a PSG-1? You can use that against Sniper Wolf. Hurry up and save Meryl.
Jack, it's me.
Yeah?
Hi, Rose.
Jack, I owe you an apology.
Yeah, you do.
If it's about that conversation just now, I'm the one who's sorry.
Which one,
No,
man?
it's something else.
What is it?
That day at Federal Hall 2 years ago, it wasn't a coincidence. I was ordered to keep an eye on you.
Keep an eye on me?
Yes, by the Patriots.
You're a spy?
I suppose. Yes. It's an ugly word. Are you still there?
Was sleeping with me a part of the job?
I fell in love with you.
How could anyone?
I can't excuse what I did. I've reported every detail of your personal life to them these 2 years. What you did, said, everything.
Must have been fun.
But some things I didn't tell anyone.
Woman.
Like what I felt for you.
So that's why you were involved in this mission. I should have known. Why else would they toss an analyst into the mix at the last
Hi,
minute?
Chameleon. Hi, down
I'm
there. How are
sorry.
you both today?
I know what I did was wrong.
No matter where I go, I get used.
I reinvented myself to suit your tastes.
That's supposed to somehow
Hairstyle,
make me
clothes,
feel
the way
better?
I moved, things I talked about. You say you love the color of my hair, my eyes. They're not even real.
You must have gone over my psych profile with a fine-tooth comb.
It was my job.
Great performance. Had me completely fooled.
What I really wanted was for you to see the real me.
And somehow
It hurt
revealing
to
this
play
all
out
to me
this-
now is
this
supposed to...
artificial romance.
Oh, this was a
it was
romance?
worse to lie to myself than to you. The more love you gave me, the more it hurt. Because I knew the person you loved was just a character.
I feel like I'm going
So
insane.
it was artificial on my end, too. It was just a game, not the real thing.
Oh, Jack.
I feel better knowing that.
What?
I was in love, or thought I was, with someone who didn't exist. I was trying to be someone I wasn't by loving what wasn't real. I don't know who you really are. The person I knew isn't real. She's not the woman I'm talking to right now. In a sense, the deception was my own, not theirs.
Copium.
Jack, I thought I was acting because that was my job. But I did fall in love with you. That wasn't an act.
Woman.
You expect me to believe that? It's okay. You had your reasons, right? Hey, I understand, but I have nothing left to...
Jack!
What?
I'm carrying. I'm pregnant, Jack.
No, you aren't.
Rose, what's going on?
I'm pregnant,
Amazing how
Jack.
you walk around like that.
Snake!
Been waiting long?
Oh my god, Snake!
Where's my gear?
Right over there.
Who needs love when you have
That's
solid
like it.
Snake?
Everything you had when you were captured is still there.
Robo Rose is now dead. So is imaginary
Sorry
baby
about
Jack.
earlier. I had to use you as bait to gain access to Arsenal. It worked.
Why didn't you tell me about Olga?
You never asked. Not happy about that? Get over it.
Any
Yeah,
effects of the
dude,
virus
get over
yet?
it.
Still waiting on that.
So, it was rigged by the Patriots?
Looks like it. From what I can tell, Arsenal is headed for Manhattan. I don't know what Solidus is planning, but we'll have to deal with it one way or another. There's also a troop of production model Rays ahead.
How many units?
25, according to Olga.
25?
Yeah. Can't say I've faced that many Metal Gears before, but I think we can deal.
No way we
I think I can take him.
Because
What
we
would you
have
rather
no
fight?
choice.
One
stocked up
one
on Stinger
solid
missiles.
snake-sized Metal
Oh, yeah.
Gear, or
We'll go with
25
this.
Metal Gear-sized solid snakes?
Why?
Olga asked me to give it to you. Besides, I'm not a big fan of blades.
Gotta imagine. He's swinging that bitch around like it's a fucking bat.
Move the right analog stick up and down to make a vertical slice,
fucking
and left
hell.
and right to slice parallel to the ground. Move the stick in a circle to do a rotating cut. Push it forward to lunge and strike. You can guard with your blade if you have the L1 button pressed down. You should be able to deflect a bullet or two.
Who needs love when you have a katana? Oh, this is apparently a non-lethal variant. Interesting. Excuse me. Excuse me, Snake. My preferred B is boxes. Ow! Well, I didn't check myself, so I wrecked myself against the legendary Solid Snake. It's all good, though. Want me to...
What are you thinking? Moron. Come on, time to go. If you run out of ammo, you can have mine.
You got enough?
Absolutely. Infinite ammo.
Wait up, Snake.
What?
Snake.
I know that one was a little bit
enjoyed
more subtle,
killing
but
someone?
apparently if you
What
finish
are you
Metal
talking
Gear Solid
about?
1, the
I'm
bandana
not
you
sure.
unlocked would get
Sometimes
you
it's hard to
infinite
tell the
ammo.
difference between reality and a game.
Diminished sense of reality, huh? VR training will do that.
No, it was field training when I was a kid. I lied, Snake. I have more field experience than I can remember. It's not VR that's doing this to me.
Raiden, we don't carry guns to take people down. We're not here to help some politician either.
You can say that because you're a legend, a hero. I'm Jack the Ripper, a dirty reminder of a terrible mistake.
Legends don't mean a whole lot. I was just a name to exploit. Just like you.
People will remember only the good part, the right part of what you did.
There's no right part in murder. Not ever. And we're not in this to make a name for ourselves.
Then what are you and Otacon fighting for?
A future? You can stop being part of a mistake. Starting now.
What am I? What am I supposed to do?
Find something to believe in, and find it for yourself. And when you do, pass it on to the future.
Believe in what?
That's your problem.
That's your problem, Cope.
Come on.
Don't care, didn't ask. Cry about it, stay mad, get real. L, mold, seed, Cope.
Snake, Raiden.
Otacon, you alright?
Yeah, so are all the hostages.
That's good news.
How's everything on your end?
All right for now, but there is something.
What?
The Colonel's last transmission was strange.
Dude, all of the
Strange?
last
How?
transmissions were strange.
Just strange. No idea.
Interference?
I don't know.
Where is this colonel?
I don't know. I've never met the man, actually.
I'll dig around.
Thanks. I owe you one.
If there's anything else, call me on the codec. I might be able to help. The frequency is 141.12.
We love you, Otacon. Even if you're a little weird.
There's a door at the north end of that corridor. Solidus should be somewhere on the other side. Stay with Snake and keep north.
I still have to call Rose to save. Cool. But I no longer have to talk to her, which is an immense relief. Snake, where's my M9 bullets? Oh, right, I didn't have any.
Don't fall behind.
Oh. Sure.
Don't push yourself.
It doesn't swing quite as fast as you think. Is that killing them? Oh shit, it is. Okay, hang on. I guess the lunge is lethal no matter what you do. Trying to figure out what I should do here. What'd you send me, Chameleon?
Don't push yourself. Raiden, is something wrong?
Raiden, is something wrong? You're just dead on the ground. You've been out of M9 bullets for 2 sections, and we refuse to give you more. Why are you not doing well, Raiden? Is it because you refuse to kill people, Raiden?
Don't push yourself. You all right? Don't push yourself. There's a door at the north end of this corridor. The enemy's on the other side. We'll rush it.
Okay, I'm here though.
Use this.
Can we not just...
Raiden, about this colonel of yours. I found out where he is.
Where?
Inside Arsenal.
What?
I've checked out all the possibilities, but I keep coming back to Arsenal. It isn't a relay point, it's the origin of the signal. And the encryption protocol it uses is exactly the same as that of Arsenal's AI, the so-called GW.
What the hell does this mean?
I think it means you've been talking to an AI.
That's impossible.
The Colonel probably isn't GW per se. GW was most likely stimulating cortical activity in the dormant part of your brain through signal manipulation of your own nanomachines. The Colonel is, in part, your own creation, cobbled together from expectations and experience.
That's crazy!
But it's probably the truth. The virus may be starting to affect GW, which would explain the Colonel's behavior.
It was all an illusion? Everything I've done so far?
Raiden.
Snake, what's happening around here?
I don't know. What I do know is that you're standing right here in front of me. Not an illusion. Flesh and blood.
Huh?
It's your call. You can drop this if you want.
No, I can't do that.
Okay,
Let's go.
leaves. Sigmoid colon.
Raiden, they've got Rose.
What?
Rose is being held in the holds.
It's a trap.
Rose!
Raiden, get a grip.
But Snake...
It's a trap. Since the Colonel doesn't exist,
Hi,
there's no
Ivy,
way
how are
you can
you?
take Rose hostage.
Yeah, you're right.
I am right.
Okay. Does Rose exist?
Don't be weird. She's your...
What if I've never really met her?
What?
If the Colonel is something that I partly dreamt up, then everything I remember about her could be...
Don't jump to conclusions.
You and Otacon are the ones that say the Colonel never existed.
Raiden.
Is this what Olga was talking about?
How are you today, Ivy? Also does work, by the way, it just can't be used with like an emote in the same sentence. How you doing, Snake? Want some coolant? You feeling a little warm there, buddy? Snake goes only lethal.
Don't push yourself.
Oh. You meant to fish and mailed. Continent. You stop that. It's this bitch.
Fortune.
It's been a long wait, Solid Snake. The root of all my sorrows.
What?
2 years ago, you killed my father. That was the beginning of hell for us. Everyone I love has been taken from me one by one, and no matter how hard I try, I can't follow them. An endless nightmare. The only thing we live for is to see it end. Our wait is almost over.
Who's your dad?
You can't be serious about firing the nuke.
Since no one can kill me, I may as well kill everyone I can.
That's some weird reverse logic.
Starting with you, Solid Snake.
Damn! Looks like I'm today's pick. You go on ahead.
Looks like I'm the fish of the day.
You want eternal rest? I've got it right here.
What are you gonna do? Bullets can't get near her.
I'll think of something. There's no such thing as a witch.
You think you can kill me?
Maybe.
I don't know what your group's been through, but let's get one thing clear. I didn't kill your father.
Do you think anyone believes your lies?
Raiden, get out of here!
Who is her father supposed to be? It would really help me a lot if you would grant me some clarification on that. What the fuck is happening?
Jack, I've been watching how you fight. It looks like you've remembered the way you used to kill in the old days.
My brother in Christ, I haven't killed anybody.
Or is it one of the S3 plan's proud achievements?
What are you talking about?
What am I fighting for?
It came as a complete surprise when Ocelot discovered the S3 data from GW. Not a bad idea, though. Using fire to fight fire, creating the perfect assassin to retire Solid Snake's brother. S3 stands for Solid Snake Simulation. It's a development program to artificially reproduce Solid Snake, the perfect warrior. The result is a Foxhound Commando. When Foxhound no longer exists, a simulated Solid Snake shaped by VR regimen. Sound like someone you know, Jack? I'm sorry to see you reduced to one of the Patriots' puppets. But I've made use of you, and their plan too. Solid Snake's sudden appearance, your arrival. It was obvious the Patriots were among my ranks. I had to smoke out the agent before the mission entered the final phase. You came in handy, as bait. Jack,
So who was it?
those
Was it
days
Bam?
during the Civil War were as real as they come. Every day was absolute. Split between life and death.
Uh-huh.
You ran from it. And now you've been led back to war by something less than real. No more games, Jack. At least you know. There's no reason to keep you alive now. I've given you a worthy opponent, at least. But now, you should die as the little Jackie boy I once knew.
Yeah, no, that really is just a TDO moment, isn't it? Hang on. If I'm gonna do this, I don't care what music this game has to play. Let me see here. Oh wait, no, hang on. It's here we go. Oh, hello, Metal Gear. I'd really prefer if you weren't on the stand with me. Sorry, wrong grenade. Ooh, okay, that does a lot more damage. Wait, did that Metal Gear just fucking bleed? Wait, Ray Rose. Oh, I died.
Right, respond. Right, Raiden!
I'll turn down the volume. Me pulling out my M9 against a nuclear holocaust machine. Uh-oh, I didn't pull out my rations. I think the biggest...
Raiden, come in!
So I am
Raiden,
realizing something with
Raiden.
this game. It de-equips whatever's on your L button whenever you go through a cutscene, which is actually garbage. That is not to say, like, oh, it's your fault for not noticing. No, it's like, just don't de-equip my weapons and we'd be fine. only I had a bandage. Oh, what the fuck hit me? Ray Bolt. Hey, have you guys seen the new Metal Gear Ray Bolt? Bolt. Both what? Both of these nuts. Goodbye, Rose. I really am glad that I threw this music on. God, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? Just keep on fighting forever?
You all right? Raiden? Raiden!
Otacon, got a vice?
Raiden, aim for Ray's head section with the Stinger missile.
Thanks. Anything else, perhaps?
The mass production Metal Gear is unmanned. It's probably under the control.
Anything else, Otacon? I already know that it doesn't like chat.
Use the sword to deflect.
Okay.
You can't move while you're aiming.
Anything else?
Approach Ray with extreme caution.
Oh, that's a Nikita. Oh my god. Raiden, now is not the time for style points. What happened? What did I do different? My brother in Christ, I killed like 7 Metal Gears. I think I'm currently the title holder for most Metal Gears destroyed in a single day.
So you decided to show yourself.
Oh, but don't do this! They'll know!
I'll hold them off. Give you time to get away.
What about you? This is suicide!
Your nanomachines, they're transmitting your vital signs to the Patriots. If you die, my child dies. You understand?
She ain't doing this for you.
I see. So that's why you sold your troops out to me. So many dead, and they all died trusting you! Weren't they your comrades?
No, not just comrades. Family.
Huh?
I know I'm going to help, but at least my child.
I applaud your attitude. If you have a death wish, I'll be happy to accommodate you. See you in hell!
There's gotta be something you can do here, Raiden. Come on. Well, he's going for style points. You're gonna let her die?
You have to.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
That was so much more brutal than I was expecting. Oh, I thought he broke her neck. No, he just shot her in the forehead.
Enjoy the show, Jack. Let's pick up where we left
Why are
off.
you so much older than Solidus or Solid and Liquid?
What's going on? What's wrong with it?
AI, GW, it's out of control.
What?
Like the Velociraptor packs.
I'm reading an abnormal impulse cascade throughout the neural network. I can't shut it down.
What happened?
Maybe some kind of virus.
The Patriots?
I don't know.
Ocelot, what have you been up to?
It's too late. Arsenal's system control is going haywire. It's on an emergency ascent course.
What the Metal Gear do? Why do they bleed?
Stupid machines!
I don't think that's gonna work. Why did that work? I'm actually wondering that worked. This should not be working. Me has to use fucking stinger missiles and all this other shit. Him, nah, it's fine. I'll just use this fucking Uzi.
Damn the Patriots!
This is some fucking horse shit.
You still have some use.
I've captured Snake.
Snake?
Bring him in.
There's still more to this game, huh? I was almost thinking that I'd be free, but I guess not. Some small parts of this game are suffering.
Are you awake yet, Jack?
No.
GW, the Arsenal AI is corrupted beyond repair. I admit that I underestimated you. I'll squeeze the answers out of you instead, my son.
I don't like the... Don't... Oh, where are you touching?
What do you hope to hear? You know he doesn't know anything.
It's not him I want the answers from.
Oh, I lived. Cool. I didn't think I was gonna.
What do you mean?
That's not your business.
Oh, really? It so happens I have some business of my own to attend to.
Planning to hijack Arsenal?
Huh?
You were going to screw me over, weren't you?
Who talked? Ocelot?
You did.
Not exactly. I was the one who used Ocelot to suggest the idea to you in the first place.
What?
I was planning to give you Arsenal to begin with.
Why the uncharacteristic generosity?
I'm no philanthropist. Arsenal is far from impregnable. It needs other Metal Gears as guards, a huge payload of warheads, and full air, sea, and land support to function efficiently. Against a large attack force without support, Arsenal is nothing more than a gigantic coffin. Seizing Arsenal gear was never the real objective.
Of course it isn't, because
What was
why
your
would it be
objective then?
simple?
A list of names of the Patriots! They were planning to extend their control to digital information flow with GW and Arsenal. That means the information they want to filter out is contained in GW, including that list of the highest 12 members of the Patriots Wiseman's Committee.
And once you knew who they were, you would cross out their names one by one, while we, with our useless arsenal, drew their fire.
Very good.
You were using us all along.
Were you any different?
But your plans hit a snag with GW destroyed, hasn't it?
No, there is another way.
Really? But we have our own plans to carry out. We'll take the arsenal since you don't care for it anyway. The purified hydrogen bomb is ready to go.
A nuclear strike won't stop them.
It will damage their power source. The mindless masses that they control. First things first.
Of course. That was what you wanted. I won't stop you. Good luck.
Thanks, but I have quite enough of that. What exactly do you find so funny?
Charades usually are humorous. I wouldn't have minded watching some more of it, but we're running a little short on time.
What are you talking about?
Everything you've done here has been scripted. A little exercise set up by us.
Oh?
Exercise?
The S3 plan was conceived as a means to produce soldiers on par with Solid Snake. That's what I told you. But the VR training the boy was put through is not the meat of the project. You think this little terrorist incident is your own doing, Solidus?
Of course!
This is the S3 training kernel. An orchestrated recreation of Shadow Moses.
What?
Ames and the President's deaths. The ninja. The computer virus that mimics Fox Die. Did you really think they were all a coincidence? Ames' own nanomachines were used to shut down his pacemaker. I arranged for the appearance of the ninja as well. As for the president, although Johnson realized what was going on, he played out his allotted part. As for the computer virus, it's a digital counterpart of Fox Die. It was also designed to eliminate every scrap of information regarding the Patriots from GW. Your plan was invalidated even before execution, Solidus. Fat Man was a different story. He's one of our own people, a sort of examiner we hired to test the boy's progress before letting him tackle the exercise proper. We had to arrange for Stillman's presence to coax the maniac into agreeing. If the boy had allowed the big shell to be destroyed, this exercise would have ended there. The project has no room for failures.
What do you mean?
Given the right situation, the right story, anyone can be shaped into Snake. Even rookies can fight like men of experience. An instant creation of genius. And this training kernel would provide more than enough data to formulate such a program. You, Dead Cell, Olga, you're all nothing but pawns placed to create the perfect simulation. Solidus, you and the boy were selected because your relationship resembles the one between Snake and Big Boss. Fortune, you and the rest of Dead Cell stand in for the Foxhound squad that Snake took on in Shadow Moses. You're the most impressive collection of freaks outside of Foxhound. We've gone to a lot of trouble to set you up against the boy. That story about purified hydrogen bombs is just the tip of the iceberg. The project was already underway when I sunk that tanker, along with your old man 2 years ago. Throwing your husband in the brig was a part of it too. You were told that the eradication of Dead Cell 6 months ago was an act of the Patriots. We provoked and encouraged your hatred. And you opted for vengeance, just as we planned.
All orchestrated?
Except for the appearance of the real Solid Snake. I wonder now who sent for you.
All our misfortune was just a part of their project?
Huh?
How could...
You're no Lady Luck. You have nothing that we didn't give you.
What?
Do you know why no bullet could hit you? It wasn't magic, or some new age mumbo-jumbo. Certainly wasn't your psychic talents. It was all staged by the Patriots.
Staged?
You were being shielded by the electromagnetic weapons technology that the Patriots developed. Your dead cell comrades loved your father and husband. We needed a pathetic wretch like you to keep them focused. You've been our puppet all along, just like Olga.
No!
You were hamming it up as the tragic heroine, thanks to the script that the Patriots wrote for you. Pure self-indulgence, absorbed in your own misfortune. You couldn't get enough of the drama.
I could have died whenever I wanted to.
Thought I got her in the heart.
It missed.
Now I remember. Your heart's on the right.
Huh?
Waste of metal, my dear, but your luck's run out. This is the little gizmo. There's no such thing as miracles or the supernatural, only cutting-edge technology.
Bastard.
I hate that. As a storytelling device, that's the worst. Oh, why does this Metal Gear work? Fuck you, that's why. Unless that's the original one made by the Marines.
Now that I have enough data, all I have to do is retrieve Arsenal and clean up the refuse from the exercise. Just try.
How the fuck would a bullet have hit him from that angle?
How's this then?
Get a load of this!
Damn.
Fortune!
You idiot! Get the hell away from there!
I told you, your luck's run out. Take your reward. It's all the payload Ray has. Die! Everybody down! What the? Impossible!
She is Lady Luck.
My name is Helena Dolph Jackson. The daughter of a proud and noble soul.
Oh, she's the daughter of the Navy captain.
I can see my family again.
If her heart is on the opposite side of her body, That chest wound shouldn't have killed her unless it pierced a lung.
Try this instead.
Get a load of this. No way. I can't believe this.
No! No! No, not now! Brothers! Liquid!
The way he said it so fast. Liquid.
I've been waiting for this!
God, it's so muscly.
It can't be!
Drowned in her own blood, I mean, I guess you'd have to
I've been
assume.
inside this arm all along, waiting for the right time to awaken.
The power that dwells in my right arm.
You were inside Ocelot?
Yes, a sleeper in the arm of a Patriot spy.
It was you 2 years ago?
Exactly. I was controlling him.
That wasn't immediately obvious to you?
Snake, it was I that leaked information about Arsenal to your partner and got you out here.
What?
You're the only one that can free me. After all...
This motherfucker's stubborn as hell! What the? How the fuck do you explain this
bury
shit?
the Patriots for good.
You know where they are? How?
Why do you think I chose Ocelot as my host?
You chose Ocelot?
Before I go, I have a family matter to settle with both of you. There's room for only one Snake and one big boss.
I'm losing my
Time
mind
to
in
say
this
goodbye.
game. This shit is not real.
Like surfing, it's a good way to go.
Liquid! Stop this thing!
Hey, Snake! You coming?
Why won't liquid evaporate? This man is functionally immortal. This man is like the fucking Vecna of goddamn Metal Gear. This man is a goddamn lich. He is a genome lich. I hope you won't miss that bridge because it's not going to be there for much longer. We're in Manhattan, right? What bridge is that supposed to be? Hang on. Oh, it is apparently just gonna be okay? Okay, sure, whatever. This game makes me feel like I'm having a fucking cruise. I'm sorry, what the fuck is happening? Pico, why didn't you save me? Now I'm covered in ouchies. Oh, where are we? How did we get here? No idea? Cool. Nothing has been clarified. Snake is okay, he's got a fine ass. Did he fucking, like, land ass first on the water and it, like, fucking dispersed? Like, it's like one of those go-go gadget inflation ass.
Federal Hall.
What are you laughing at?
You know what day it is today.
It's the 4th of July.
April 30th?
That's right. George Washington took office as the first president of the United States of America 200 years ago today. And it happened right here. We were going to declare another independence, the dawn of a new nation, here. The end of the Patriots' secret rule, liberation of this country. This was where it was supposed to begin. This is where freedom could have been born.
All you want is power at any cost.
Jack, it's not power I want.
It's freedom.
What I wanted to take back from the Patriots are things like freedom, civil rights,
Oh my god, I was
opportunities,
bullshitting, but...
the founding principles of this country. Everything that's about to be wiped out by their digital censorship.
What the fuck is happening?
Jack.
I mean...
Listen to me. We're all born with an expiration date. No one lasts forever. Life is nothing but a grace period for turning the best of our genetic material into the next generation.
Life's about fucking and then you die, but I want
The data
freedom.
of life is transferred from parent to child. That's how it works. But we have no heirs, no legacy. We brothers are called les enfants terribles. Cloned from our father, with the ability to reproduce conveniently engineered out. What is our legacy if we cannot pass the torch? Proof of our existence, a mark of some sort. When the torch is passed on from parent to child, it extends beyond DNA. Information is imparted as well. All I want is to be remembered by other people, by history. The Patriots are trying to protect their power, their own interests, by controlling the digital flow of information. I want my memory, my existence to remain. Unlike an intron of history, I will be remembered as an exon. That will be my legacy, my mark in history. But the Patriots would deny us even that. I will triumph over the Patriots and liberate us all, and we will become
Metal Gear,
the Sons of Liberty.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Raiden, are you receiving? We're still here.
How's that possible? The AI was destroyed.
Only GW.
Who are you?
To begin with, we're not what you'd call human.
Oh my god, is this gonna be some kind of aliens
Over the past
bullshit?
200 years, a kind of consciousness formed layer by layer in the crucible of the White House. It's not unlike the way life started in the oceans 4 billion years ago.
Huh?
The White House was our primordial soup, a base of evolution. We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans invoke so often. How can anyone hope to eliminate us? As long as this nation exists, so will we.
Am I losing
Cut the
my
crap.
mind?
If you're immortal, why would you take away individual freedoms and censor the net?
Jack, don't be silly.
Don't you know that our plans have your interests, not ours, in mind?
What?
Jack, listen carefully, like a good boy.
I hate this
The
bitch.
mapping of the human genome was completed early this century. As a result, the evolutionary log of the human race lay open to us.
We started with genetic engineering, and in the end, we succeeded in digitizing life itself.
But there are things not covered by genetic information.
What do you mean?
Human memories, ideas, culture, history.
Genes don't contain any record of human history.
Is it something that should not be passed on? Should that information be left at the mercy of nature?
We've always kept records of our lives, through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
But not all the information was inherited by later generations. A small percentage of the whole was selected and processed, then passed on. Not unlike genes, really.
That's what history is, Jack.
But in the current digital trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always accessible.
Rumors about petty issues, misinterpretations, slander.
All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution.
Right. You seem to think that our plan is one of censorship.
Are you telling me it's not?
You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
Create context?
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. Just look at the strange juxtapositions of morality around you.
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other humans.
Rights of criminals are given more respect than the privacy of their victims.
Although there are people suffering in poverty, huge donations are made to protect endangered species. Everyone grows up being told the same thing.
Be nice to other people.
But beat out the competition.
You're special. Believe in yourself and you will succeed.
But it's obvious from the start that only a few can succeed.
You exercise your right to freedom, and this is the result. All rhetoric to avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. The untested truths, spun by different interests, continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
We're trying to stop that from happening.
It's our responsibility as rulers. Just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stimulate the evolution of the species.
And you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and not?
Absolutely. Who else could wade through the sea of garbage you people produce, retrieve valuable truths, and even interpret their meaning for later generations?
That's what it means to create context.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
You're full of shit.
But is that even your own idea?
Or something Snake told you?
That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will.
That's
qualifications?
Not true. I have the right.
Does something like a self exist inside of you?
That which you call self serves as nothing more than a mask to cover your own being.
In this era of ready-made truths, self is just something used to preserve those positive emotions that you occasionally feel.
Another possibility is that self is a concept you conveniently borrowed under the logic that it would endow you with some sense of strength.
That's crap!
Is it? Would you prefer that someone else tell you? All right then. Explain it to him.
Jack, you're simply the best, and you got there all by yourself.
Oh, what happened? Do you feel lost? Why not try a bit of soul-searching?
Don't think you'll find anything, though.
Ironic that although self is something that you yourself fashioned, every time something goes wrong, you turn around and place the blame on something else.
It's not my fault. It's not your fault.
In denial, you simply resort to looking for another, more convenient truth in order to make yourself feel better.
Leaving behind in an instant the so-called truth you once embraced.
Should someone like that be able to decide what is truth?
Should someone like you even have the right to decide?
You've done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering the world. You are.
The individual is supposed to be weak, but far from powerless. A single person has the potential to ruin the world.
And the age of digitized communication has given even more power to the individual. Too much power for an immature species.
Building a legacy involves figuring out what is wanted and what needs to be done for that goal. All this you used to struggle with. Now, we think for you.
We are your guardians, after all.
You want to control human thought? Human behavior?
Of course. Anything can be quantified nowadays. That's what this exercise was designed to prove.
You fell in love with me just as you were meant to, after all. Isn't that right, Jack?
Ocelot was not told the whole truth, to say the least.
We rule an entire nation. Of what interest would a single soldier, no matter how able, be to us?
The S3 plan does not stand for solid snake simulation. What it does stand for is selection for societal sanity.
Weird skull face,
The
motherfucker.
S3 is a system for controlling human will and consciousness. S3 is not you, a soldier trained in the image of Solid Snake. It is a method, a protocol that created a circumstance that made you what you are.
So you see, we're the S3, not you.
What you experienced was the final test of its effectiveness.
That's crazy.
You heard what President Johnson said.
The Arsenal's GW system is the key to their supremacy.
The objective of this exercise was to establish such a method. We used Shadow Moses as a paradigm for the exercise.
I wonder if you would have preferred a fantasy setting.
We chose that backdrop because of its extreme circumstances. It was an optimal test for S3's crisis management capacity. If the model could trigger, control, and solve this, it would be ready for any contingency. And now, we have our proof. Raiden, there are also reasons behind your selection. Solidus raised plenty of other child soldiers. Do you know why we chose you over them?
Because you're a special boy.
It was because you were the only one who refused to acknowledge the past. All the others remember what they were and pay for it daily.
But you turn your back on everything you don't like. You do whatever you like, see only the things you like, and for yourself alone.
Yes, Rose can attest to that.
You refused to see me for what I was. I lied to you, but I wanted to be caught. You pretended to be understanding, to be a gentleman. You never made a conscious attempt to reach out to me. The only time you did was when I gave you no choice but to do so.
I was just trying not to...
What? Trying not to hurt me? Dear, the one you were trying not to hurt was yourself. Avoiding the truth under the guise of kindness is all that you did. It occurred to you to do nothing but look out for yourself. Even if you claim that it was for my sake, that feeling was nowhere to be seen. In the end, everything was for your sake. I was never part of the picture.
Exactly right. So you see, you're a perfect representative of the masses we need to protect. This is why we chose you. You accepted the fiction we've provided, obeyed our orders, and did everything you were told to. The exercise is a resounding success.
Didn't I tell you that GW was still incomplete? But not anymore, thanks to you.
Your persona, experiences,
Wait,
triumphs,
whose
and
voice was
defeats
that?
are nothing but byproducts. The real objective was ensuring that we could generate and manipulate them. It's taken a lot of time and money, but it was well worth it considering the results. I think that's enough talk. It's time for the final exercise. Raiden, take Solidus down.
Think again. I'm through doing what I'm told.
Oh, really? Aren't you forgetting something?
If you die, my child dies.
The termination of vital signals from your nanomachines means the death of Olga's child. Not to mention the death of Rose. She's wired the same way.
Rose, does she actually exist?
Of course I do, Jack. You have to believe me.
Damn!
It will be a fight to the death.
Solidus at least wants you dead.
We will collect the necessary data from this last fight. Then we'll consider the exercise closed. So, Jack the Ripper, will it be Solidus, the Patriot's creation, or you, Solidus's creation? Our beloved monsters, enjoy yourselves.
God, there's so much to unpack there in a very short amount of time.
Jack, my son. My clone brothers and I are called monsters, replicates of evil genes. You are one of a kind, but still a monster, shaped by a dark and secret history. We need to decide which monstrosity will have the privilege of survival. By the way, Jack, I was the one who killed your parents. I claimed you for my own and raised you as a soldier in the army of the devil. I am your foster father and your worst enemy.
Why?
Because I needed to know whether we were really someone else's creation. We're repeating history, Jack. Liquid and Solid hunted down Big Boss, trying to sever the tie that bound them to him. Unless you kill me and face your past, Jack, you will never escape. You'll stay in the endless loop, your own double helix. It's time we were both free. I have other reasons for wanting you dead. The clues to the Patriots inside GW have been erased, but there are other traces. Inside you.
What?
The information is being carried by the nanomachines in your cerebral cortex, and throughout the neural network they've formed.
I didn't mean to call X. I know he's dead.
Raiden, you don't have a lot going for you with just your bare hand.
Anything else?
Watch out for Solidus's snake arms. If they catch you, shake yourself free by pressing the left analog stick or the buttons again and again.
Take this! Is that the best you can do? Let's go. Let's go. What's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah, I forgot stab does actually.
What's wrong with you? Is that the best you can do? What's wrong with you?
I'm trying to do the spinning.
What's wrong with you?
God, if only I could have a fucking lock-on system.
Is that the best you can do? Is that the best you can do? Is that the best you can do? Take this!
God, he rotates.
Is that the best you can do?
God.
Take this! Ready to give up, Jack?
Good work, Jack. This is where it gets interesting.
More snake. I'm very afraid.
Take this!
Raiden, you have to beat.
Not just pawns in some simulation game. Yes, you are. You're nothing but mere weapons, no different from fighter jets or tanks. What the? The old model destroyed 4 years ago was Rex. The new amphibious model is Ray. Both of these are the same as codenames used by the U.S. Armed Forces to refer to Japanese warplanes during World War II. The codename Raiden 2 comes from the Japanese Navy's name for one of the secret soldiers. Stop it, I'm not a weapon. Oh really, do you know the code name for the U.S. Armed Forces used for the Japanese fighter Raiden? It's Jack. Both of you are just weapons to be used in the war. Just weapons to be used on the battlefield is positive. The weapon has no right to think for itself. Now is the time to defeat your purpose.
Die!
Sometimes he just rotates, but I have no idea why.
Take this! Over here! Over here! Take this! Is that the best you can do?
I'm going to lose my temper just because there should be a lock-on system for something like
this. Is that the best?
And there isn't. And I can't move. I'm stuck in a corner. And I'm not blocking.
Take this! What's
I'm
wrong
about to
with
lose.
you?
Okay. How much of this shit am I gonna have to sit through again?
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? I can't lock onto you. That's what's wrong with me. Really in this situation, I don't know if he's even trying to do the slashes, the horizontal ones. Oh, cool, so I can fall off the roof.
Is that the best you could do? All right.
Yes. Yes, it is indeed the best I could do. I'm gonna say this. Metal Gear always has such cool concepts for boss fights and shit. But they're always such dog water. And I do mean that sincerely. Like, they are just awful sometimes. Can I please, for the love of God, just do a horizontal slash?
What the? What's wrong with you? What the? Hey! Die! Hey! Take this!
Good work,
Standing in the
Jack.
fire.
This is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Take this! What the? Over here! Is that the best you can do? Let's go! Is that the best you can do? Die!
Okay, that's
What's
new.
wrong with you? Let's go.
Oh, I thought I blocked. I guess I didn't. Okay. That wasn't too bad, but the camera on that was frustrating. I'm using exclusively the back of my blade. did he say? Okay, now what?
Who am I, really?
No one quite knows who or what they are. The memories you have and the role you were assigned are burdens you had to carry. It doesn't matter if they were real or not. That's never the point. There's no such thing in the world as absolute reality. Most of what they call real is actually fiction. What you think you see is only as real as your brain tells you it is.
Then, what am I supposed to believe in? What am I going to leave behind when I'm through?
We can tell other people about having faith. What we had faith in. What we found important enough to fight for. It's not whether you were right or wrong, but how much faith you were willing to have. That decides the future. The Patriots are a kind of ongoing fiction too, come to think of it. Listen, don't obsess over words so much. Find the meaning behind the words, then decide. You can find your own name. And your own future.
Decide for myself?
And whatever you choose will be you.
I don't know if I can.
I know you didn't have much in terms of choices this time. But everything you felt, thought about during this mission is yours. And what you decide to do with them is your choice.
You mean start over?
Yeah, a clean slate, a new name, new memories. Choose your own legacy. It's for you to decide. It's up to you. By the way, what is that?
Dog tags.
Anyone you know?
No, never heard the name before.
Thanks.
I'll pick my own name, and my own life. I'll find something worth passing on.
Oh, well, I get tossed into the crowd, thanks.
They taught me some good things, too.
I know. We've inherited freedom from all those who fought for it. We all have the freedom to spread the word, even me.
Snake, what about Olga's child?
Don't worry, I'll find him. Count on it. As long as you keep yourself alive, he's safe.
Do you know where Liquid went?
I put a transmitter on his ray.
Did he head for the Patriots?
Yeah, but I have a feeling they gave Ocelot a bogus location to begin with. Cheer up, we have a better lead. This contains the list of all the Patriots.
But Ocelot took it.
The one we gave you wasn't the real thing.
What?
This virus is coded to destroy only a specific part of GW, namely the information about the Patriots' identity. Which means that there's a parameter coded in here that defines what that information is.
I get it. Analyze the code and you can probably find out where they operate. Count me in.
No, you have things to do first. And people you need to talk to.
Snake?
Oh, well, there goes the bird.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Can I ask you something? Who am I, really?
I wouldn't know. But we're going to find out together, aren't we?
Oh. Yeah.
See me for what I am, okay?
I know.
Do you remember this place?
Of course. This is where we first met. I remember now.
Hmm?
Today is the day I met you.
That's it.
I think I found something to pass along to the future.
What?
He said all living things want their genes to live on.
Are you talking about the baby?
Yeah. The genes aren't the only thing you pass on. There are too many things that aren't written into our DNA. It's up to us to teach that to our children.
What kind of things?
About the environment, our ideas, our culture, poetry, compassion, sorrow, joy. We'll tell them everything together.
Is that a proposal?
This is for your ears only.
I stare at the stars and the sky up above and think, what am I made of?
thoughts on Metal Gear Solid 2.
On the streets below, and ask every child I know.
Things it does well. It does expand upon Metal Gear Solid 1's mechanics, but doesn't necessarily take the positive steps I would have liked to have seen, like the addition of just consuming your rations if you had them instead of requiring you to have them. Kojima, you did it again. You brought it to the Angress with disappointment. Oh my god. Sometimes, yeah. That's the worst part about Metal Gear's games that I'm kind of discovering, is that Kojima will never give you a happy ending. Kojima will never give you an ending that you're wholly satisfied with. There is no ride off into the sunset moment where you know everything's gonna be okay. The Patriots are still out there. Everything's still fucked. You know, there's so much going on with this game. Metal Gear has such solid storytelling, and I do praise that it doesn't necessarily takes a level of realism with, like, your endings always be glass half full, half empty kind of, like, endings. It's just... Okay, I'm gonna say the things that I think they did good. They expanded upon Metal Gear Solid 1 systems enough that I feel satisfied with them. The addition of a non-lethal option was nice, but it would have been nicer if they did some, like, small tweaks to like the core parts. Like, if you have rations, why do I have to have them equip, and why do they de-equip in between cutscenes is something that I will never understand. Oh god, okay, there's still more. I'm going to hold off until this shit is done before trying to give my fucking thoughts.
Things in life are free. Little sounds of laughter, a warm hug, a smile, a kiss from you to me. I fall.
Oh, there's still apparently fucking more.
I cry and I
Yes, I will elaborate on all of that in a second here once I'm able to have an actual moment to formulate my fucking thoughts into something coherent. I don't know what the fucking point of that particular scene was. A car rounding the corner. I don't want to skip this though, because I believe in giving people who make a game their due credit where credit is due, whether it's good credit or bad credit. If you've made a game, you deserve to have your name known and be seen. You deserve recognition for it.
It's there that I'll find in a peace not warm.
Movie unit editing, Hideo Kojima, yep. Real life footage supplying. Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid VR missions.
I'm looking for way back in
There's something that feels very strange about seeing the name Asa Hammond, because Asa is very clearly, like, I believe an Asian name, a name of Asian descent. I'm not sure if it's Chinese or Japanese, I could be wrong, but the last name Hammond. I feel like there's a character with like a very similar name that feels like very disjointed from that. Her name is like, what is it? Shinobu Jacobs from No More Heroes. It's like one of those names whose first name feels like it doesn't fit their last name. I haven't played No More Heroes, by the way, but I know about Shinobu. Why I know about Shinobu, I don't remember. I have no clue why. I always find that Metal Gear games kind of have like amazing storytelling with very minimal like with very like wanting gameplay, if that makes sense. Like, that's not to say the gameplay is bad, it's just there's always moments in these games where it's like I feel like I'm just kind of suffering through the gameplay a little bit. I'm waiting to see if it gives me my stats screen. I want to see. I don't think I killed anybody. Done? It's Lady Liberty.
Isn't just about passing on your genes. We can leave behind much more than just DNA. Through speech, music, literature, and movies, what we've seen, heard, felt, anger, joy, and sorrow. These are the things I will pass on. That's what I live for. We need to pass the torch and let our children read our messy and sad history by its light. We have all the magic of the digital age to do that with. The human race will probably come to an end sometime, and new species may rule over this planet. Earth may not be forever, but we still have the responsibility to leave what traces of life we can. Building the future and keeping the past alive are one and the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Substance, but base game was Sons of Liberty. Substance is just added content, the tanker mission, and some other stuff. Some overall
Snake,
gameplay.
you there? It's me. I've finished going over that disc.
Improvements.
Did you find the Patriots list?
Of course. It contains the personal data of 12 people. There was a name on it. Snake, it was one of our biggest contributors.
What's going on around here?
I don't know.
Anyway, where are they?
Well, we were right about them being on Manhattan, but...
But what?
They're already dead. All 12 of them.
When did it happen?
Well, about 100 years ago.
What the hell?
Oh, there it is. Okay, playtime. 14 hours, 12 minutes, 12 seconds, 27 saves, 34 continues, 28 alerts, 0 kills, and 52 rations. I ate a lot of food, and I killed nobody. I'm going to leave that up while I talk about my feelings about this game. Okay, let's see if I can try to put what I feel about this game in words. We always start with the things that they did good. This item system was an improvement over Metal Gear Solid 1. It's still not perfect. Adding the trank options was nice. As you can see, it gives you something to aim for. If you want to aim for it, you don't have to, but you can. If I were to put in one thing, the fact that items seem to get de-equipped either when you enter cutscenes or when you restart, that's a big glaring negative issue, especially considering the game doesn't record what your last used item was and will always pull out the lethal option of the SOCOM pistol first. That's something that could really bear to be improved upon, let's say. Now, that being said, it is better than Metal Gear Solid 1's item system, so I will at least give it that. The system for the codec operating the same is a smart choice if you're a veteran of the system. If you're a veteran of Metal Gear Solid, then it gives you something consistent amongst the gameplay to aim for. Other good things, it had better music than Metal Gear Solid 1. Was its music amazing? No. It's definitely not even going to register in my brain as an amazing soundtrack. That being said, it wasn't bad, and it did give us what might be some of the funniest fucking shit that I've ever seen in the form of Vamps running on water cutscene and the scene of Otacon having a mental breakdown just to go into a bro handshake with fucking Snake is honestly so fucking funny. I feel like if I was willing to take my time, I would have found some pretty funny shit with the D-mic over time, but I didn't really have much of a ability to really do that, and I really didn't feel like sitting here going over everything with a fine tooth comb to find all that shit. The game does a really good job of, I guess, like, doing its final setup is the best way of putting it, because they tell you that the entire situation is really meant to mimic Shadow Moses, and you can really, like, you know, see it, you know, when they tell you things, like, obviously those 3 enemies paralleling the Foxhound rogues was a good one. I don't think they were as strong of a character cast as compared to the Foxhound group, but all the same. In that way, ironically, by doing parallels, you do make your story feel maybe a little bit stale, even if you don't want it to, because it doesn't feel like you're going for anything over ambitious. He kind of managed to turn it into something of its own at the very end, but it's still, you know, like, lots of little parallels, like meeting Otacon's sister inside of a sliding closet specifically, because that's what Otacon hid himself in. Was like the first moment that those parallels really started clicking to me, you know, like every game you kind of accept kind of starts with you sneaking in and is always about disarming a Metal Gear up until this point. So the idea that it's going to go any other way, it doesn't register as a parallel immediately. But there's lots of things that when you look at them, you realize how they did their parallels with a very good amount of subtleness. Even if I won't praise them for originality, I will praise them for going at this with a rather genteel approach. I'm also going to turn on music so that way we're not sitting here in silence. Things they could have done better. I think the fact that I was able to feel like the Colonel was atypical right from the start was probably something they could have improved upon. I don't know if they changed his voice actor, but he felt too stiff. Like right from the get-go, which I guess in its own way was supposed to be like their way of hinting to you, oh, something's not quite right with the Colonel. But I think something like that would have been fine to just leave it be and then have it slowly become more prominent over time. Like, have him start feeling like the original Colonel and then slowly make you feel like he's acting less and less like the Colonel you're used to from Metal Gear Solid 1. I think that would have been a better approach. And you noticing the subtle changes over time, or maybe not even noticing because they're so subtle and over time. The fact that I looked at him in the first cutscene and felt that he was too stiff is really something that should have been improved upon, I think. I fucking hate Rose. I do. I don't like Rose as a character. I hate the idea of a person like Rose, because Rose is what would typically just be referred to as a manipulator. She uses Raiden, guilt trips him constantly every time you call him. She is stiff and rigid, and she's not accommodating at all for his faults, as we can see in game, which is the hard part, right? Because they set up this precedent of she's been accommodating off screen, but because she's not accommodating on screen, and because she feels so rigid, she comes off as being apathetic to his own concerns. If somebody doesn't want to share something with you, it is not your obligation, regardless of what your relationship with them is, to share it with them. The decision to share something with someone is wholly something that you as an individual have to decide. So the fact that she's gaslighting him to get his fucking information out of him is like the shittiest thing I feel like I've seen out of a video game character in a hot minute. She's deeply unpleasant. She even reveals to him partway through, she's just like, by the way, while I have fallen in love with you, I've been under secret orders from some, like, weird shadow organization type bullshit. That's the entire premise of our relationship, and he's just willing to accept that and move on when he finds her at the end of the game. I can't stand that. Rose is perhaps one of the most, like, I hate her as a character. I know they want her to be a character that has depth, but the premise behind why, like the premise behind Rose that I really hate is kind of like the idea of, like, how somebody would say something like, oh, a woman can do no wrong, or, like, you know, the idea behind why men get gaslit for things like, oh, well, a man can't be abused by a woman or some shit like that. Like, I hate the idea of Rose because it feels way too close to the mark on statements like that. That's why I hate her so much. Compared to Mei Ling, I would have rather had Mei Ling's proverbs and felt like I was just getting, like, little tidbits, like, oh, no, these are really interesting little sayings, you know, things like that. I feel like I'm gaining, like, atypical knowledge, maybe not useful knowledge, but knowledge that's generally, like, you know, interesting. Or maybe if you're just an individual who isn't well learned, or, you know, didn't have, like, access to things like that, it felt like you were learning something. It's like the subject of learning moralities or thought processes. Stuff like that is interesting to me. So I would have taken Mei Ling over Rose almost any day. And the problem that I have is that your two major contributors, like before in Metal Gear Solid 1, I didn't talk to them a whole lot, right? But it's like I had the Colonel, I had Mei Ling, I had like all these other experts with me, and it felt like they all had things to tell me and all things to do. But in this game, it really narrows down to the Colonel and Rose. Just like in the previous game, you can't contact Mr. X. Stillman dies really early, so you can't contact him. Like throughout 75% of the game, I would say. You can't contact Otacon or Snake. Well, you can't contact Otacon until like the last 15% of the game. Snake is on again, off again. For the time that he's totally there, he's only there for about 30% of the game. When you're stuck with the super rigid Colonel and the really unlikable Rose, the game doesn't feel as compelling to interact with as Metal Gear Solid 1 did, where each character felt like they had their own ideologies, but they weren't quite so insufferable to sit through dialogue with. I think in their attempts to expand the universe of Metal Gear in this game, they have managed to make it, in its own way, a little bit more confusing, if that makes sense. Not necessarily, well, Metal Gear games, as I've played them thus far, are kind of a little bit preachy about morals, but I mean, I get where they're coming from. They're supposed to be games about like coming to terms with the, I guess, the horrors of war and human nature and all this shit. But I do mean confusing, because like there's points in this game where the characters become so different that I thought I was like actually going to, I thought that I was going to get the old Matrix switch at the end where it's like revealed like, haha, Jack, you haven't been on the rig at all. You haven't been fighting Metal Gear at all. You're actually in a simulation pod. Like I was waiting for that kind of reveal. By the end of the game, I felt so confused by everything that I had done that I was just kind of like, I was like, huh? And Metal Gear also really likes, I guess in their own way, touting the idea of fighting for a cause you believe in without actually giving the characters who preach those ideas to you actual moralities to follow, if that makes sense. Snake is always like, I'm a bastard who lives by the art of war, and I'm killing everybody, not because I have to, but because I want to, or some shit like that. Like, and then it becomes like this, well, I don't want to kill because I want to, I be killed because I have to, or, you know, like, that's what I mean. It's like, you get these characters who are all about these ideas of fighting for something you believe in, and then they never tell you wholly what they believe that they're fighting for. I get that expanding upon that dialogue might feel like a bit much, and you're supposed to read in between the lines, but it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like watching somebody who understands something and who can speak from personal experience try to explain something without elaborating upon it. I think that's the best way to put it. It's like the equivalent of like watching somebody work on a car, explain how to fix that car or why you should fix that car. Watching them fix it themselves, but not explaining the process behind they reached that point, or something like that. I think that's the best way I can put it into simple terms. Like, Snake tells Ryan to go find something worth fighting for and then doesn't elaborate on his own reason for fighting. Because obviously he wants Ryan to figure out his own reason for fighting, doesn't want to influence him, but unfortunately, part of the nature of learning, of moving on from something like that, is sometimes telling people where it is that you started, and I get that it may not be perfect, but still. Raiden as a character is less enticing, I think is the best way I can put it, as compared to Snake. I didn't like him as much as I like Snake. He feels, and this is just the unfortunate nature of every character in this game, they're just so stiff. Even when Raiden does express himself, something about him feels so distant, like he's kept at an arm's length, which I get is revealed why as time goes on, but I as the player feel a little bit strange about feeling so very distant from my own character, emotionally, mentally, whatever else have you. Raiden is kind of written like how D&D rogues like to write themselves. Edgy, sad backstories. And then never moving on from those, or by the time he does move on from them, by the time he does expand upon it, by the time he does share more parts of himself, you've gotten so used to him being emotionally distant that you're just kind of like, whatever. Hi, Taco. We're just going over my final thoughts on Metal Gear Solid 2. I'm listing the things that I think they could have done better. I've listed the big complaints. Other complaints include, I don't know why my grip reset after the... you have to do 100 and then you have to do 100 more for the pull-ups, which is already weird. Which is hidden behind a hidden mechanic, which I hate Metal Gear's hidden mechanics. But you also don't use the drop-down as much as you think you would anyway, so ultimately trying to reach grip level 3 is entirely pointless. I thought I would have grip level 3 be in a meaningful thing in a final fight against, I don't know, Metal Gear Arsenal, the Metal Gear at the final fight, but it was never really useful. You put in a hidden mechanic and a grip level thing, and none of it matters. I don't know why. Also, having hidden mechanics is kind of shit. I don't know if I was supposed to look in the manual or if I was supposed to... Final arm wrestle boss fight. Dude, I just thought that it was going to be like one of those things where I like have to climb Metal Gear in a Shadow of the Colossus ass fight, and the grip was going to be important for shit like that. And that was not the case, to be honest with you. Any other negative points I can come up with? Yes, one. I always hate the gimmicks behind Metal Gear's fights. Their boss fights, specifically. Their gimmicks are always so funny on paper. The cutscenes are always so great. And then you get to the gameplay, and it almost always flops. There hasn't been a boss fight that I greatly enjoyed. Except Fat Man. I fucking hated Fat Man. I hated Fat Man the first time I fought him, and then he became hilarious the second time I fought him because you told me about a mechanic that I didn't know about. And I likely would not have figured out that mechanic by myself. Fat Man as a boss fight was hilarious. But a lot of Metal Gear's fights are very gimmicky, and very seldom do they actually turn out to be fun. Something about Metal Gear's boss fights really, really do not do it for me. I keep on trying to look at them with, like, this more positive approach, but for some reason, I always just wind up getting angry. And it's not about the taking damage bit of it. It's more like the side of things of, like, if Vamp is approaching me and I shoot him, why does he dodge? When he does dodge and I fucking aimed where he is, why can he dodge again and guarantee damage me? It's stuff like that that fucking always pisses me off. Like, if I read your boss, if I've learned his pattern, I want to punish your boss the same way your boss is punishing me. Maybe that's just me. I think this game does too many pulling of the layers. Here's the goal. No, just kidding. Here's the goal. No, just kidding. Here's the goal. No, here's the... And then it's like... By the time you've moved past 4 objective goals, you're just like, what's the actual goal here? I'm like, I know that you love doing shit like this, Metal Gear, but come on. I feel like I'm getting 4 M. Night Shyamalan plot twists where your reveals of the real reason we are here is getting excessive. Is there anything else I can think of? Anything at all? Usually I can list neutral points. I did have one in mind, but I can't remember it now. Oh, this isn't a neutral point, but I do hate it when games do this. The bit with Otacon's sister makes me kind of upset because it's like that whole the illusion of free choice kind of shit. Where you have to protect her so hard just for her to fucking die. Something about that is frustrating. Especially after you put her through a segment where the entire goal is to stop her from dying. It feels like a slap in the face. It's like, oh, you managed to get her across 3 terminals of fucking enemies. You managed to shoot down all the drones. You managed to blow up all the claymores. Fuck you, she dies anyways. Why? Because Vamp is back. Why isn't Vamp dead? Even though he exploded into a blood cloud? You'll never know. That shit was genuinely frustrating. It wasn't a negative point. He's bisexual. That does not grant him immortality, Taco. It doesn't. You can't just be like, I'm bisexual, and then bullets no longer affect you. Bisexual does not make you immune to fucking over-oxygenated water that fucking crushes you and sends you to Davy Jones' locker. Neutral point. Metal Gear games always go too hard on their cutscenes. I feel like I have to put down my controller when it starts going into a cutscene because I'm like, well, I'll be here for the next hour of my life. It's not bad. It's not great. Lighten the loafers? I actually have never heard that term. This man is not Jesus Christ. In fact, if he... this man is not Jesus Christ. I don't understand why he can run on the water, much less stand on it. Any other neutral points? Overall, it's just not as good as Metal Gear Solid 1, I'm just gonna say it. Metal Gear Solid 1 had dull moments, but I felt like old-time euphemism for effeminate men. I actually did not know that. Is there anything else? I'm gonna say this is a positive thing. I like that they're starting to embrace kind of like the JoJo level of goofiness that comes in these games. In some ways, where it's like you watch fucking Snake's bro moment with Otacon and it starts getting really goofy. And then they have like the infinite ammo thing with the headband, like... I think they also included the guy who got knocked out by Meryl on the rig as well. I think you could have picked him up with the D-mic on the section with Otacon's sister, but I missed it, unfortunately. I like that they're starting to embrace how goofy their games can be in the backdrop. The story for this game, mixed with gameplay elements, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's worse than Metal Gear Solid 1. I would have gladly picked up Metal Gear Solid 1 over this. There's a lot of negative things going for this game because it's just, when you look at it, it's just Metal Gear Solid 1 but with a weaker cast and a more convoluted plot, if you narrow down what I've said into simple terms. Oh, now I remember. I think that it's a little bit negative that they don't reward you for not killing anybody other than what you're seeing on my screen here, which is the person's killed 0. An alternative ending would have been very interesting, but seeing as the game treats you, no matter how you defeat an enemy, whether it's knocking them out or not, as you killing them, yeah, no. I heard that there was supposed to be like an alternative ending if you never got spotted during the game, which means no alert modes. I don't know how you would do that, especially considering how the scene with Otacon and the soldiers in the section with Ames goes, but yeah. Yeah, I think this game is just weaker than Metal Gear Solid 1 overall. If Metal Gear Solid 1 is a 7 out of 10, then this is a 6 out of 10. Which, this tends to happen a lot with games I play. I always wind up really liking or enjoying the first one the best. and this is not always the case, but I always wind up liking the first one the best, and then disliking the second one, and then enjoying the third one. So probably when we move on to Snake Eater, I'll probably wind up liking Snake Eater much more than this. I might even like Snake Eater more than Metal Gear Solid 1, we'll see. I'm hoping that this continues to be the trend. This one's bad not for the reason that a lot of second iterations in games tend to be. It's just bad because it's a weaker version of the initial Metal Gear Solid. I mostly just think Big Shell is boring. Yeah, this game is just kind of... Because they do so many parallel and it's just supposed to be a retelling of Metal Gear Solid 1 with a less likable cast, it just winds up feeling a little boring. Every section looks the same, yeah. You want to know what's crazy, though, Taco? Is that this is supposedly the version with gameplay element improvements, and I don't necessarily know what those improvements are, but when I think about how bad this game could feel at times to play, like with Raiden's rotation and the 3D space navigation, like, I could not imagine what the worst version of this would play like. Because I played this game and I wanted to control like Metal Gear Solid 1 because it's too much like Metal Gear Solid 1 and it doesn't. Because they worked more with the 3D space, which is fair and fine. Metal Gear Solid 1 had its own issues, but all the same. You don't think any Metal Gear feels good? That might just be the case, ironically, dude. I'm sitting here trying to, like... I always try to find, like, the good things in games if I can help it, which is why typically when I'll do these games, when I'll do any game, I'll look at it and just be like, what in this moment is doing it for me and what in this moment is not doing it for me? And ultimately, all I can ever give you is my own perspective on any game, right? So ultimately, sorry, just one second. Three is where I felt like it wasn't getting in the way as much. Yeah. No, like, this game definitely always has something bad going for it. Like, in terms of gameplay. Like, the thing I hated the most in Metal Gear Solid 1 was the fucking sniper rifle. The sniper rifle was insufferable. The sniper rifle in this was better, but the sniper rifle in this still is terrible. And somehow, the moving in this game feels worse than moving around in Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't know how to explain it. Like, flipping around as Raiden feels good. Watching him fall on his fucking face is amazing, but... Other than that, trying to navigate in their 3D space with the addition of analog sticks, I don't know. I feel like the addition of analog sticks ironically made them a little bit overconfident. But I think what acts to this detriment is this game really came out during the advent of 3D controls, so I feel like it definitely wasn't as refined as it could have been. Like... Every boss fight kind of has its own negative consequences going for it. Like, Fortune is a gimmick. Fat Man is annoying. Not necessarily bad, but definitely, like, if I had known the gimmick for beating his ass, it would have been insufferable to try to fight him. Vamp, as a character concept, is hilarious. But his boss fight, after you remove, like, the cool things like shooting his knives out of the way, kind of becomes a little bit annoying with, like, for the same reason that I didn't like Grey Wolf, which is, or Grey Wolf, I'm sorry, Grey Fox, which is, you can't punish him. And you really want to punish him, but you can't. The moments in which you can punish him are very clearly abundant and obvious, but it's like, if Vamp's doing his running animation, where he's coming, like, straight at me, and I can see him, and I can follow him with my gun, and then I'm able to aim where he's going to be, and I shoot, and I watch him flash to the other side of my screen in what is clearly, like, a movement where he should not be able to avoid damage, just to fucking damage me, that shit is annoying. Thank you for the follow. Let's see here. The Harrier boss fight is fine. Doesn't really annoy me all that much. How are you doing? How are you doing, Sheena? Let's see here. We just got done with Metal Gear Solid 2. I'm just giving my feedback on the game. It might sound like I'm shitting on it a little bit, but that's because, like, it's not bad. It just, whenever I do shit like this to a game, it's because I can see the vision and I feel bad that they couldn't achieve exactly what they wanted. Which is just a lot of the way these old games go, and there's no way of knowing exactly if they're going to improve on it in the future. Like, for some games, you can definitely see it, like where Resident Evil gets its remakes in like Resident Evil 2 and 3, and you could see them achieve all that they wanted to do in the first games. So I don't know if Substance ever got a remake. I don't think it did, but... I still do like these games. I'm still going to play Metal Gear Solid 3. I'll look forward to playing it when I finally get through it. I'm probably going to play another game in between this and Metal Gear Solid 3 because I get burnt out on Metal Gear games pretty quick. It won't be a long game, I don't think. Probably something like that's just another 2 or 3 day stream kind of game, and then I'll move on to Metal Gear Solid 3. But yeah, how are you doing, Shino? Fan of Metal Gear? I take it, I'm going to assume, considering you found me. Or are you from another person's stream of somebody that I follow? Feel free to introduce yourself if you'd like. My name is Nezero. I do variety streams. I do them every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. to 12 o'clock midnight. Sometimes a little bit later, by about 30 minutes on either end, starting at 8:30 and ending at 12:30. Variety, you can see what I'm playing by looking down at the Wall of Victory. I've got quite a lot of games on there. I'm slowly working through my game library. So, overall, 6 out of 10 game. And I want to paraphrase this. 6 out of 10 is still better than bad. 6 out of 10 is a good game. People hear 6 out of 10 and they think I'm calling this a bad game. That's not what I'm saying. Anything that is a bad game is like down in the dirt 3 or lower. Anything that is 6 is like I didn't necessarily love it, but I didn't hate it. And if I had to play it again, I probably wouldn't complain too much, but I probably also wouldn't love it. 6 out of 10 is like, I have a positive impression of this game, but it could have been better. And I could see the ways in which they were going for something different, but it could have been better. Anybody have any other thoughts on this game that I maybe didn't cover, or anything they want to hear me talk about?
Tree from this ordeal, the trial to survive for the day.
Codename Pigeon. Okay, I'm kind of curious. I want to see where the fuck this takes me. Anybody know what happened to the Clear Code website that was used for the Metal Gear Solid 2 Clear Codes? Probably shut down as it was released for the original game. All the top places got their name as dog tags in substance. That's very cool. It's said to have been the auto clock widget. I remember grabbing it about 10 years ago and the site was up for a long time. Still have the widget too. You can still get it here. I like how the readme says alarm.txt is for alarm setting. Clear Code and Top Record Code. In Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, when you complete Sons of Liberty or the Boss Survival Mode pass, a code called the Clear Code appears on the screen. If you register your Clear Code for the mission registers and stacks your record sorter. Input your ID. You can look at records for Tanker, Plant, Tanker, and Plant. That's interesting. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, so the actual website is long gone. But apparently you could have gotten your name as dog tags. That would have been cool. But really, that was a right reserved